Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 3 of Back to School with the Brother ScanNCut. In today's video, we're going to go over how to cut out bulletin board letters using your Brother ScanNCut. Let's get started. The first thing you need to do when you turn on your Brother ScanNCut is go to Pattern. For this video, we're going to be using the built-in letters, the built-in fonts, and we're going to use this first one. When we click on the A, we're going to use the A001, the first one. This is a really good font because the letters are large block letters. If you want to change the case, I'm going to leave it uppercase letters, but if you want to change the case, you can use this button here. So for example, if we were going to type the word welcome and we wanted the W to be capital and the next letter to be lowercase, we would use this button. Okay, but since I'm making a bulletin board, I would like to use all capital letters. Okay, so before I show you the right way to do it, I'm going to show you the way that you might have tried to do it and been frustrated. So I'm a teacher. I'm going to write welcome on my bulletin board. I come along and I write the word welcome, capital letters, and I put it on my mat. Let's just say set. And you're like, well, that's not very big, right? And let's just leave it where it went. And we go into resize it, and here's the resize, and you start resizing it. La 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 la, and it stops. 8.78 inches. That's the whole word, okay? And we say, okay, well, let's move it down here. Give it some room. Let's try to resize it. You can get it a little bit bigger. It goes to 11. You put it over here, make it a little bit bigger. Just enough so it fills up the mat. Well, that's not what we want, okay? What we want is the letters to be as big as possible using the cardstock that we have. Okay, so let's just go back, and I'm going to go home, and okay. And I'm going to go to Pattern, and I'm going to select the A like we did, and this one. But this time I'm going to put one letter at a time. So I've already cut most of the letters for the word welcome. W-E-L-C-O. I'm up to letter M. I'm going to put the letter M on here. M. And while it's cutting, I'll show you what I mean. It's capital M. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to say set. Now, very important. If I were to resize this M right now, it's not really going to resize because there's no room for it to grow. It's up in the corner. Before you resize a letter, you always put the letter in the middle of the mat. So then you go into the editing mode, and you go to resize, and then you can make it, in my case, I'm making them 7 inches high because my cardstock is, this will make every letter fit on my cardstock, sometimes 2 letters per piece of cardstock. So let's just say 7 height, and the width, don't worry about the width, leave it in proportion to the height. So if you know your height, make that the standard variable for all your letters. Pick your height and say okay. There's my M. I'm very happy with that M. It fits on my cardstock, which is 8.5 by 11 cardstock. All right, so let's just say okay, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to use. So I have cardstock here, which is just your standard cardstock you buy, and it's a lot like the Whisper White I've been using in so many of my tutorials from Stampin' Up. In other words, it's a light cardstock. I'm using the standard blade. Okay, this is the settings. The standard blade. Now in the first tutorials we used the deep cut blade. In the first part 1 and part 2 of this series. This is part 3 of the series, and we are now back to the standard blade, a blade depth of 4. And in the settings, I went back to the default. So if you had just got done doing my other tutorials on the stencils and on the foam, cutting foam, make sure you go back into your settings and then go to page 2 and make sure your settings are back to their defaults. You know that they're their defaults. Your cut speed and pressure, when you see the little black boxes around them. See, I'm using a cut speed of 3 and a cut pressure of 0. And if you would have left your cut pressure really high, then it may cut through your mat. I've made that mistake before, so please make sure you get your settings back to normal. Cut speed of 3, pressure of 0, light cardstock, blade depth of 4. Let's say okay, let's say cut. My cardstock is already on my standard mat. And remember, when I cut, I like to just, the mats are not always very sticky. I like to just give it a little rub to keep everything firm on the mat, especially because I'm doing all this work. And then that's one letter. It cuts pretty quickly. The whole process goes very quickly when you have all your cardstock ready. And then I'm going to show you my whole word. All right, so here we go. Just don't want you to miss any steps. So we say finish cutting, okay, unload the mat, this button here. Okay, I'm getting this out of the way, the Brother ScanNCut. And now here we just, see, lift off the cardstock, lift off the M. You can use your little spatula tool or just peel off your M. All right, so here's what we have so far. I've done the W. I told you I did some letters already. So I did a W. Get that far away so you can see it. And then I did an E and an L. Okay, there we go. Let me just get that there. Okay, E, L. And then I did CO. Okay, let me get a piece of contrasting cardstock. Then we just did the M together. Because you know in my tutorials I like to do projects that are useful and that I'm actually working on. So now I'm actually happy because I've created the word welcome already for the meet and greet night for school. Okay, so there we go. M, and then we have an E. Now for the E, I've already created a sticker, and now I'm going to show you how to create stickers. So here's the E, I've already created a sticker. So let's put this machine here. If you don't already have one of these and you're a teacher, I can't believe you don't already have one of these. Okay, this is a, I don't know if you say Xeron or Xiron, because again, I'm self-taught at all these things, so I don't know how to pronounce this company's name, but I will link to this machine in my description. I have about 5 of these in all different sizes. They're laminating and sticker making machines. So like you pull it out, you put a cartridge in, and the cartridge is either, you can see this one is permanent, just says permanent, meaning adhesive, and they also laminate. And you can also put repositionable adhesive in them. Okay, so this is how they work. You just stick your letters. Let's grab the W. Okay. Now remember, I said we're making the W's 7 inches tall. Well, that was because my cardstock was 8.5 inches tall, and my machine here, it laminates about 8 inches across. So that's another reason I made my letters the size they are for this particular project. And you just stick your letter in, give it a little push, and you crank the knob. And if you don't want to waste any extra adhesive, you can just throw all your other letters in there at the same time. It's best if I'm putting this letter in, it's best to put it this way, less likely to get caught. So I always put the broad end in first. And you just make sure that your stickers are not overlapping. So you like the E, the W starting to come out, and I stick the E in there. I mean, you get the idea. I don't need to create every letter, but I just hate wasting the adhesive. And by the way, you get this at craft stores, and you can get it on Amazon, this machine, and you can get the refillable cartridges too. Okay, so all right, there we go. So there's our letters. Let me just go out, and then when you get to the end and you can see your letters sticking out, then you can use the blade. Turn it around. Let me just give you a little extra. I like to be able to see my last letter. Then I use the blade and I cut. Okay, I cut the sticker off. Let me pull this away. Okay, putting the machine away. All right, and here we have what's left is, this is our sticker that we can just slap right onto the bulletin board, or to like the butcher paper, which is on the back of the bulletin board. This isn't actually for me, but so basically you got this, you've just created a sticker. This comes off. Okay, now this is your sticker. So awesome. I see people using glue, staples, lamination. I'm like, what? Use your sticker machine. Slap these on the board and look how much time you save. And then this is like just your, I just always collect my dust around my craft room with this little ball of stickiness. That's how I clean up my craft room. Like the glitter, this is great for cleaning up glitter. So there's my letters. I stick them on the board. And there's my E. It's not, don't worry that it's upside down. And if you forgot to laminate a little piece of it, or they overlapped, you just put a little glue on that side. So that's how you create your stickers. And I have a couple more things to show you. Okay, so if you are using your machine, we could do everything I just did. You just get yourself some primary cardstock. If, however, you want to use your Brother ScanNCut Canvas, it's not ScanNCut Canvas anymore, it's called Brother Canvas Workspace. I've done some tutorials on it. You can do a lot more with your bulletin boards. I'm going to show you. So when I taught the Brother ScanNCut Advanced class online, we created this entire project in my advanced class, Back to School. This is called using an offset. So I started with the Back to School that's built into the machine, but I used an offset line. An offset line creates that extra border around your logos and letters and your fonts, which is great. I mean, that looks even more professional. And another thing you can do using the software is this sign I did for my guests who just came last weekend, and I'm keeping the sign up because I like it, and they're going to come back again. They went on a Disney cruise, you see, so then they were stopping at our house on the way to the cruise. So what I did is I used the Brother ScanNCut Canvas, Canvas Workspace, and I created all of these names, and I printed them out on stickers, and I created the welcome sign. I even cut out the Mickey heads, which is one of my tutorials on YouTube, on how to cut out Mickey heads out of the Mickey paper that I got from Joanne. Okay, I even cut those out. That entire sign was made with the Brother ScanNCut. Okay, so if you want to learn how to do those things, use the software, use offset lines and what have you, then please sign up for my advanced ScanNCut course, which is only $9.99 with my coupon, which is in the description. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next tutorial in this series.